Okay, in our blue book, we're going to study this problem. It's page 791, problem 1311. Okay, so if you're at home, we're paying for college, and we're going to do problem 1311. So here are these responses. So you guys have your books open. I have to move my book so I can read the rest of the question. Okay, here we go. So it says the distribution of earnings is strongly skewed to the right. Nevertheless, use of the T procedures is justified. Why is it justified? This is why it probably said give, because it's probably taking you through some of the conditions already. Okay, so part A. It said that this is skewed to the right, but why can we still use the T procedure? So let's talk about that. I can't believe you guys didn't even jump on this one. Right? You guys, what's the CLT state? It has to be greater than 30. Let's see. There is 675 males and there's 621 females. I am pretty sure those are greater than 30. Just a tad. You know.
Isn't there better wording for that than so large?
Yes, there is. You could probably say what? What could you say?
I said the requirements for CLT are met as the sample size is significantly large.
So you like significantly better than so large? Okay. It is better. That is a much better sentence than the one that I came up with, but you guys weren't answering, so I just thought I would go with the flow. Okay, so you guys.
Amy had her hand up.
Yeah, people did have their hands raised.
I didn't see hands raised.
I saw hands. Oh, they were raised, Miss Flurry. They were up in the air.
I just got schooled, e-learners at home. Anyone that's not in class watching this video, which is probably no one, because no one watches my videos. You guys, one day we will look at how many views I have on my YouTube channel, okay?
Yeah, we used to watch them before we came to your class every single day.
Yeah, okay.
We didn't because we were actually on the live list.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we didn't.
Okay, so again, so yesterday we talked, did we get to robustness?
A little
A
bit.
little bit.
Okay, so David said the CLT applies here. The other thing is that because our sample size are significantly large, not so large, significantly large, that the T procedures are robust against non-normality because they're significantly large. I don't know why you guys don't like so large. I just, it's just common language.
Really big.
Or large enough.
The question is, would the AP graders give us the same amount of points for so large
That is
as significantly large? Great point.
or large enough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would. So we're good. Okay.
Wait, have you ever been an AP grader?
No, I keep missing the deadline. I have been asked several times, but it keeps going to spam, and I never check my spam mail. This is gonna be a great video for everyone to watch at home. Okay, so that's part A. So part A, you guys, is because the sample size is significantly large. The CLT has been met because the sample size is significantly large. Then the T procedures are robust against. This makes the T procedures robust against the non-normality. Okay, so B. B says, give a 90% confidence interval for the difference between the mean summer earnings of male and female students. So, as soon as they say the difference between the means, that means, that's an awful sentence. Okay, so because it says the difference in means, not the mean difference, it means it's, oh my gosh. We're going to use a two sample T procedure, okay? So, okay, so you guys, because it says the difference between the means, that makes it a 2 sample. And they've already told us it's going to be a T. So they want to know a 90% confidence interval. And because it says give, right? It didn't say construct and interpret. It says give. That means you can just go ahead and do the confidence interval. So it's a 2 sample T interval. So we're going to scroll down to that and we're going to hit enter. They gave us stats, not data. And you know the difference because stats gives us the sample size. I mean, data does too, but in a roundabout way. They give us the sample size, the X bar, and the standard deviation. Okay, so let's just make sure my X bar was 1884.52. My standard deviation was $1,368.37. And the males had 675. The females' X bar was $1,360.39. And their standard deviation was $1,037.56. And there was 621 of them. We want to be 90% confident. I know that some of you have not been able to watch the video or the PowerPoint over the 2 sample means because of me. So when it comes to pooled, we never ever pull. And you guys, the only time you would actually pull is if the sample sizes were exactly the same. You could pull then, but we never do. Okay, that's for a more advanced statistics class. And hit calculate. And there is our confidence interval. So our confidence interval is $413.62 to $634.64 because it's money, right? Our degrees of freedom. So you guys, our degrees of freedom, if we went to go look this up, what number would we look up in the book? What would be our degrees of freedom that we would look? 49. We would round it down. Okay, so anytime you're talking about the degrees of freedom, you know how usually when we're talking about people, we round up because if you have a decimal, you always round up. But when you're talking about degrees of freedom and you're talking about that critical value, you want to round down because you want to be more conservative. Okay. And if you look this up, you guys, you're going to find that your T-star is going to be really close to the Z-star. The more robust or the more people you have in your sample, your critical value gets closer and closer to the actual Z-star. Okay. So that is B. So B, the interval would be 413.62 and 634.64. Okay. Now, C. It says once the sample size was decided, the sample was chosen by taking every 20th name from an alphabetical list of all undergraduates. Is it reasonable to consider the samples as SRSs chosen from the male and female undergraduate population? I see hands and I actually heard answers this time. Okay, so I'm going to call on everyone. Amy.
I said no because there's not an equal opportunity or not an equal chance of every combination of undergraduates being chosen.
Okay, what did you say, Paige?
That's basically what we said, but we also said there's no bias evident.
Okay. And Matt?
No, because it's going to result in the exact same sample every single time.
Okay. And what type of sampling method did they use?
Convenience.
Nope. They picked someone and then they picked every 20th person. That is a systematic sample. So it wasn't an SRS. Okay. Now there's no reason to expect that the method would introduce any bias, but this is not a, it's not a true SRS, right? It is, so it is it is a systematic sample. So there we go. So no, the sample is not really random because you put a system to it. Okay, and finally D, what other information about the study would you request before accepting the results as describing all undergraduates? So the answer would be no to this one with, of course, an explanation. And then D, what is one thing that you need to know before you can apply this to all undergraduates? They did something very specific at the beginning, and they were very adamant that they included it in the problem. Amy.
Well, they omitted students who weren't employed.
Right. They admitted, oh my gosh. They omitted students that weren't employed, right? And so that's the first thing that we need to know. And there's something else that might be helpful too. What happens when you don't answer, when you don't answer a census? What's that? What kind of bias is that? Yeah, and you get in trouble if you don't answer the census, just saying. So you guys, would it have been nice to know how many questionnaires they sent out altogether? That'd be something that might be helpful as well. Yes.
Could you write like total population of undergrads for independence?
Yes, but because they excluded, you could put that, but the one thing is,
Oh, working undergrads?
yes, you would have to put working undergraduates, but you have to include that so that you would have that information in your, right? That's something else you would have to look at. So those are all things that you would need. And then you could say, now we're going to look at this. So before you can say this applies to all undergraduates, you need to know who's unemployed, and it would probably be helpful to know how many surveys you sent out. How do you guys feel about that? Does anybody have any questions?